Hi, my name is Denise Dalton, and I'm the Student Services Chair at Lamont High School. I'm joined in this presentation by Rick Prungan, our Social Studies Division Chair, as well as Mark Tomczak, who teaches AP Human Geography, as well as Human Geography for our freshmen. And the purpose of this presentation is to give you a little bit of information about the beginning of high school for your sons and daughters. This can be a trying time, even in the best of times. And this year in particular, we know that there's a lot of anxiety about making that transition. Traditionally, we would host this presentation in the Performing Arts Center and give you the opportunity to do some question and answers at the end. However, because we're in this format, we are going to send out a form for you so that you can submit any questions that you have to us after this presentation. Based on the questions, we may have a second presentation, or we may just release a list of frequently asked questions and answers that might lessen your anxiety when it comes to the transition to the high school for the fall. One of the best ways to stay informed on what's happening at Lamont High School is to follow us on Twitter. There's a number of accounts associated with the high school, but I'm just going to highlight a few for you now. LHS News and Information can be found at Lamont_HS. This is an account that's run by our Community Relations Office, and it provides all of the general information that you'd need to know about LHS. John Young is our Director of Activities and Athletics, and you can follow him at Lamont AD. Our Student Services Department is at We Counsel Lamont. But I think the best account to follow if you want an overview of what's happening at the high school is to follow Eric Michelson, our principal. He is at LHS 210 Principal. And Eric provides a lot of information from his own personal account, but he also retweets almost everything that's going on at the high school. So if you really want to know what's happening on a day-to-day basis, if you follow Eric, you're going to get a really good sense of who we are and what we do. I'd like to highlight some important dates for the 2020-2021 school year. And this, of course, is assuming that we're back for a traditional school year. Friday, August 14th is designated as our new student day. This is a day where only the class of 2024, as well as our transfer students, are in the building. Students are going to go through their normal schedule and meet their teachers, but they're not going to go through a traditional curriculum or any type of formal instruction for the day. Students are going to be learning who we are, how we operate, and what we do at Lamont High School. So it's a fun day. It's a busy day. Students are certainly active throughout the day, but it's not a day where they're going to necessarily need their books. They're not going to have any homework. They're just going to be learning about how to be a Lamont High School student. Wednesday, October 14th is the first time that our students will take a PSAT. The state of Illinois provides the SAT to juniors in the spring of their junior year. And that test is traditionally used for college admissions, as well as a way to evaluate how we are operating as a high school. To prepare for this, we provide opportunities for our students to practice the SAT. Students will take a PSAT in both the fall and spring of freshman year, sophomore year, and then one final practice SAT in the fall of junior year ahead of taking that final SAT exam. The dates for this coming school year are October 14th and April 13th. At the end of each semester, we do give final exams to our students. The final exam weeks are designated as December 21st to the 23rd, and then May 24th till the 26th. And I know that preparing for final exams can be stressful for students. So our teachers do a lot of things to try and alleviate that anxiety and prepare the students. But we also have our student mentors, our peer mentors through our Link Crew program, do some preparing with the students on how, different test taking strategies, different study strategies, how to organize notes and things like that. So we do a lot to prepare our students for final exam week because we know that that can be a little anxiety inducing for our kids. Our second semester begins on Tuesday, January 12th, and shortly thereafter, the counselors will meet individually with the students to do their sophomore course selection. In terms of college planning for the class of 2024, as long as students know that college exists, that's pretty much all that they need to know at this point. We don't expect that students have created any type of list of colleges that they want to go to, but as long as students know that there's opportunities in 2-year colleges, 4-year colleges, there's opportunities available through the military, there are trade and technical schools, as long as they know that what the options are for after high school, we feel like students are in a good place. The PSAT is a good way to get started if the students are thinking about college because it gives students a sense of how they might perform on the SAT exam. The PSAT also provides the opportunity for students to build on their test scores using a free personalized program from Khan Academy. And the third way that the PSAT scores can be used for college planning is for course selection for sophomore, junior, and senior year. The College Board is the organization that creates the PSAT as well as advanced placement classes. So they will look at a student's strengths and say, you know, you did well on this component of the PSAT, so we think it would be a good idea if you took these future AP exams. So students can also do some virtual college visits if they're looking to learn a little bit about college planning. Right now, colleges are not open for physical visits, but a website called uvisit.com is a great resource to do virtual college visits of a number of different schools. So if a student really is interested in learning about colleges, this might be a way that they can spend an afternoon or an evening. And it's something that you could do with them just to kind of see what schools are out there. So really at this stage, incoming freshmen, it's exposure and just knowledge of what college opportunities exist. The last recommendation that I would make in terms of college planning is for parents. I have a child who graduated from high school in 2017, and I have two that are in the class of 2021. College has certainly been on our minds since the boys were little, and it's something that, you know, we worry about too. So I completely understand the anxiety that you have about your child's future. The book, Where You Go Is Not Who You'll Be by Frank Bruni was probably the most helpful book that I read in preparation for my own child's college search process. We often get caught up in the best schools and the U.S. News and World Report and Peterson's rankings and Forbes rankings and all of those things that are, you know, take external measures and say what the best school is for a student. The book, Where You Go Is Not Who You'll Be, flips that idea and talks about how you need to know the student and find the best school that meets the need of the student. It was a great resource for me as a parent and then for me as a professional to help realize that it really does, it matters what opportunities you make for yourself, regardless of what college you go to. Rewinding it a little bit, and we're talking about college, and let's just focus on summer at this point. There are a number of assignments that students are expected to do as they prepare for freshman year. And the first of those are the summer reading assignments. All students in English 1 are expected to read The Hate U Give, or the alternate text is Turtles All the Way Down. If students are in the honors program, they are asked to also read the book How to Read Literature Like a Professor by Thomas C. Foster. All of these books are available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Anderson Bookstore, any place that you normally get your books. Students also are expected to do some math packets, and I'm going to show you where to find those now. If you go to the Lamont High School homepage and you go to academics, over here on the right-hand side, there is a link to summer homework. And the summer reading is listed, and then under summer homework, if you go to mathematics, there are packets for each of our math courses that students will be taking in their freshman year. So if a student is in Integrated Math 1 or Integrated Math 1 GB, they're going to do this first packet that's listed. There's a cover letter from Kathy Young, our mathematics department chair, and then the problems are listed below. You can also find the solutions. Now, we know that we want students to try the problems first, but this gives them the answers that they need so they can go back and check their work and perhaps see where they may have gone wrong. All of these problems are expected to be reviewed, so there should not be a lot of new material being taught in these packets. This should generally be a review of things that they learned in 7th and 8th grade. The other summer homework is to acquire a TI Inspire calculator. These generally run between $100 and $120 in the back-to-school sales. But if you check eBay, check Craigslist, check Facebook Marketplace, you might be able to find some students who are selling their secondhand. Earlier, I had mentioned our Link Crew program, which is our peer mentoring program. Link Crew is made up of juniors and seniors who apply to the program, and they are seen as being our best and brightest. So we choose these students and ask them to help the incoming freshmen make that transition from middle school to high school. Students will meet their Link Crew leaders on the first day of school, and then their leaders are going to really kind of keep in touch with them through the first semester and through the entire first year, really, to make sure that that transition is going well, both socially, academically, all the different aspects. Outside of that, if students need additional assistance, we want to help students learn how to advocate for themselves. So part of our New Student Day talks about how to approach a teacher and ask a question, or how to compose a professional email to a teacher to ask a question. Academically, we have National Honor Society has a peer tutoring program that's available for students. Students can go before and after school to meet with upperclassmen that can assist them in their classes, or they could work on PLC Wednesdays, or really time outside of the school as well. So kids are able to connect in a number of different ways. We also have an area in the building called the Cave. Now, the Cave stands for the Center for Academic Vision and Excellence, but it's located in the center of our building and there's no windows, so it's called the Cave. Students can go to the Cave for assistance before school, during lunch periods, and after school. And there are teachers as well as student tutors that are there that can help them with any academic area. Outside of those academic interventions, we also have a number of student services supports. Our student services team is comprised of our counselors, deans, school social workers, school psychologists, our school resource officer, our nurse, our director of special services, and then myself as the division chair for student services. So we are there to help students navigate any issues that are getting in the way of their academic success. So anytime that you're concerned about your son or daughter, please reach out to any one of us and we will make sure that we connect you to the supports that will be helpful. I'm going to turn this presentation over to Mark Tomczak, and he is going to explain how you can keep track of your students through our Skyward Family Access.
My name is Mark Tomczak, and I am a freshman cultural geography teacher here at Lamont High School. Next couple slides that we're going to go through are going to be very important for your son or daughter and for you as parents over the next 4 years in terms of just grades, and then obviously where students can find their information on Google Classroom. So first slide here is Skyward Access. You as a parent, you have access to this. I usually recommend to parents to check their grades of their child once a week, maybe every Friday. Go through the assignments with your sons and daughters, see what they're missing, see what they need to do, see what's just going on in all of their classes. And usually I kind of say every Friday, maybe check the grades on Skyward. You'll also be able to see your schedule for your son and daughter, all of the teachers' names from first semester and second semester. You can always check attendance as well. You will get this login information at registration. The next slide will go through a video for you that will give you all the ins and outs of how Skyward works. But that login information you will get at registration in August. That will be your username and password, and there is a way to change your password to make it more manageable for you.
It'll take you to this page where you use your login and your password that comes with your registration letter. If you forgot these things or you lost your letter, what you can do is click here and they will email directions on how to reset your password to the email that you have on file in our system. Once you are in on the home page, if you have multiple students here, you would have to hit this down arrow to get to each individual student. Another key feature on if you click My Account, this is where you can go. This is the My Account page. You can change your password here. You can also go down below and set up notifications for attendance, progress reports, grading. All that is down here on the bottom of the My Account page. On the gradebook page, if you click over here on the left, you can see missing assignments at the top here. You can also click on the letter grade itself. Once you do that, it will take you to this page where you can see every individual assignment of your student. On the fee management page, you can view your fees, view payments, view totals, and make a payment. You can add some money to your lunch account if you click make a payment and follow the directions on that screen. You could also do the same thing by clicking on food service and click make a payment, follow the directions, and add money to your account. And some other key points I'd like to stress: you may need to set up your browser to allow and accept cookies. If it's not working properly, you may also need to turn off your pop-up blocker. Type in the login exactly as it's shown on the letter. And if you happen to have spaces in your name or in your login, please use your space bar. If you lost your letter, then click Forgot User Password on that first screen, as I mentioned earlier. The password is case sensitive. Family access passwords are reset each summer, so you will have to use the one on the letter, and then you can click on My Account to change that. If you have questions about online registration or are having difficulties accessing your students' information through Family Access, please contact Director of School and Community Relations Tony Hamilton at thamilton@lhs210.net or 630-243-3280. Thank you.
Google Classroom is the platform that teachers will use in order to stay in touch with their students on a regular basis. Each student owns their own pages, so students will have access to those pages in order to get daily work, daily assignments, check the daily agenda in terms of what's going to be done in class. So it is the responsibility of the students to review the daily agenda. And most importantly, if a student is not in school, it's important for them to check Classroom to see what they missed on that day. With us being on block schedule, if a student is not in school, say on Monday, and then they come back on Wednesday and not prepared for class on Wednesday as well, in some regards, now they're almost 2 days behind. They've missed Monday's class and now they're not prepared for Wednesday. So it really, really is the responsibility of the student to check Google Classroom to make sure that they know what's due, when it's due, and what the expectations of the teacher are. Parents can request access to the Classroom page. All they need to do is email the teacher and ask for that access, and parents can have that access as well. I would make the recommendation to freshmen and to parents not to just simply rely on the Google Classroom page as your technique for staying organized. Strongly recommend getting some kind of a planner, some kind of an organizer, even if you're going to use the Google Calendar, something to organize yourself. Trying to check and stay on top of 8 daily agendas for all your classes and checking those every single night sometimes is just a lot of work for students. Next, how to contact a teacher. The link that is on here will give you access on the new school homepage of the school directory in order to look up a teacher's email if you find any reason to email a teacher throughout the semester. Again, we are really, really stressing to kids that if they have a problem with a grade, with an assignment, one, to go see the teacher directly in person. Still, in-person communication between a teacher and student is the best form of communication. There's nothing going to get lost in an email. There's not 6 or 7 emails going back and forth. Maybe a student tries emailing a teacher and a teacher can't respond, in an evening or something else with that. So trying to go see the teacher in person still is the best option. But if students need to email teachers, obviously it's an option that's there in place. As parents, email is probably the best way to get in touch with teachers on a daily basis. Classrooms do not have phones in them, so if you need immediate feedback on something, email the teacher. I'm sure the teacher will get back to you as fast as possible. If you need to obviously talk with the teacher over a phone call, it's obviously something that you can still do. Just leave a voicemail message for the teacher, and then the teacher can call you back at their convenience. But again, just staying in touch with the teacher is a very, very important transition for us into high school.
Hi, my name is Rick Prungen, and I am the Social Studies Division Chair at Lamont High School. As we continue our presentation, another area that we think is crucial is the parent-teacher relationship. And really what we're looking for is to foster healthy relationship with our parents as we team up to best educate our students. One area that we think that every parent should know is how to contact a teacher. And so there's a couple of things here to do. First and foremost, teachers do not have phones in their classrooms. So email is the best way to contact a teacher. If you go to the LHS homepage under academics, you can find every teacher and their departments and their emails. If you email a teacher with a question, more than likely they'll get back to you that day with a response. They can also provide information via email as well, attach documents, etc. So email definitely is the best way to contact a teacher. Other areas of communication involve the principal, the athletic director, and the activity director, and then also department chairs. And so if you've got a question regarding athletics, the best area to go to would be to the athletic director. If your son or daughter is playing a sport, the best person first and foremost to contact would be the coach if you had a question. If they're in an activity, obviously the activity sponsor would be the person that you'd want to contact as well. In terms of classroom and instruction, obviously the teacher is your first go-to. After that, the next person to contact will be the department chair if you've got further questions or your questions are not being answered. We strongly urge you to use the department chairs as conduits between teachers and parents if there are any issues or concerns. The really special thing about Lamont High School, we think, is that there is something for each and every student to do, be it athletic or extracurricular. I am also the head boys and girls varsity soccer coach at Lamont High School, and so athletics is something that we think is really, really important for students to be involved in. Information for athletics can be found on the school website. Students are required to submit paperwork and forms, which can also be found on the school website. Traditionally, the calendar works with fall sports beginning the second week of August, winter sports begin in early November, and then spring sports begin in early March. Parents, please understand that for athletics, if your son or daughter is playing let's say a winter sport, there will be practices over the winter break. And so please plan accordingly. Questions about athletics, again, if you've got about a particular sport, the best person to go to is the head coach. Email them. And if that doesn't work or you can't find that coach somehow, email the athletic director and that information will be sent out to you. We're in a little odd situation right now because traditionally we'd be having contact with all our athletes this summer. We don't know if that's going to happen because of the current health crisis. And so email communications can be really, really important. So please be on the lookout for emails from the high school regarding sports and sports activities, when they may resume, and schedules, etc. Like I said, we feel that there's a place for every student in our school. And if athletics is not the avenue for your son or daughter, then we have got over 50 different student activities that they can participate in. There are ones that are academic oriented like Model UN or Mathletes. And then there are clubs like Scholastic Bowl. We've got FBLA. The list is quite long. And we really encourage our students to find an avenue and a passion while they're at Lamont High School for their 4 years. Research has shown that students that are involved in athletics and students that are involved in extracurricular activities perform better academically. And we feel that it's a much more healthy learning environment and relationship with the school when students come to school, perform well in the classroom, but then stay afterwards and involve themselves with their peers either in an activity, a club, or a sport.
So the next steps in your journey towards freshman year, be on the lookout in July for a packet of information from the high school that's going to have your Skyward login information, as well as information about fee payment and fee waivers if those are necessary. August 6th is the day that we tentatively have for our registration day or our student processing day. This is when students will receive their actual schedules. They can purchase their PE uniforms. If there's any additional physical forms that need to be dropped off, all of that will take place in early August, we think. But then from December until March, we ask all parents to participate in the 5 Essential Survey from the state of Illinois. It is a brief survey. You may have done it already through the elementary schools, but it provides information to the state about how parents think that we're doing, and that's really important information for us as we develop our programming for our students. So that is it. Please, if you wouldn't mind, complete the Google form if you have any additional questions, and we will address those either via email or through another Google Meet or Zoom meeting or something like that. And we certainly wish you and your students a very restful and safe and healthy summer. And we look forward to seeing you guys in August as we start a phenomenal school year. Thanks.